Coach, how are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Hey, good. Let me ask you. Got a couple of dumb guy questions. I was talking to the guys here, which I came to the bowl game when you guys played Oklahoma, and so I was saying, "Hey, we're gonna get Coach Norvell on," and they were like, "No, it's Norvell." I said, "Well, I'm from Arkansas. We would say Norvell. How do you say your last name?"
Norvell.
Can
And
you?
I played college ball at Central Arkansas, so I lived with that
And
for
did
a long
everybody go,
time.
"Hey, Norvell"?
It happens from time to time.
Yeah,
And I married an Arkansan, so yeah, it's the life you live.
yeah, it's the accent. So first of all, congratulations. When I went down, my wife is a Sooner, and my friend Jake Owen, who's a singer, we went down together. Who's a big Florida State guy. We went down to that game, all of us, and we sat with the athletic director from Florida State, and it was awesome. Like a really great time. What I took away from that game is how fortunate it must be to be a head coach and have a bowl game where it feels like a home game. It was like a home football game. It was crazy.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed that experience, and it was good to have a crowd there behind you.
When you live in Florida, everybody else wants to come to Florida, so I guess all the warm stuff happens near you. And can you like push for a bowl game in your home state? Is that because that seems like the greatest thing is to have everything stay nearby as other teams are flying all the way across the country.
It was a fun experience for us because obviously it's still 3 hours away, and so I mean for our guys they got a chance to enjoy the whole week of experience. But then it's also wonderful knowing you're not having to get on a plane, you're not having to go and do all the things logistically. It was fun for the families, and obviously our fan base. It was a great turnout. So yeah, sign me up for those as often as possible.
All the binders behind you. What's that? Like what is that? Why so many binders? What are we trying to what's broken?
There's just a lot of different parts of the program with information. So it just reminds me right now being on this that I need to clean all that up. But
Well, I bought a house the first time and I was like, I can't believe I had to sign all these papers. It was just the first time I bought a house, I didn't even know what I was signing, but at the end they give you this thing and I never even looked at the book again, but you have like 8 of them behind you that has to do with football. Is that plays? Is it people you
some
can
of it is plays. I do each year. I have a full year binder and itinerary, and things of expectation calendars, player profiles, things that get added throughout the off season, and just growth development. You know, I've got a lot of different departments that we work with, so I like to have everything centralized as much as possible, and can do most of it probably digitally, but which we have. But there's still something to being able to have a hard copy.
how many phone numbers do you have?
Uh, no telling.
I Because there's just so many people that have got to get a hold of you and in so many and for so many different reasons and I mean that in the way of like you can't just have one line. I mean, you would go
Oh, how many
crazy.
different? Yeah, how many phone numbers? Like how many personal phones do I
Yeah, you
have?
have to have more than one.
Oh yeah, I've got three. Like the three different numbers that I've got one office, and then two different personal cell phone, and then a work phone. So
Can you imagine? I Do you get people hitting you up for tickets specifically? Because I get people coming to me for things, if it's like concert tickets or even game tickets, and I haven't talked to in years, Coach. And I don't, and all of a sudden they're my best friend again or my cousin, and they're like, "Hey, sure, what?" Does that happen at your level too, being the head coach at Florida State, where somehow somebody gets your number, is like, "Hey, can I get some tickets?"
oh, absolutely. I have there's there's the timing of the ask is what's pretty impressive. Like I might have been for the bowl game actually. Somebody on game day text me like as we're on the bus going to, hey, can I get a couple tickets for the game?
I mean, the nerve of somebody just to ask anyway,
I
like the
swear.
nerve, that is
I
wild.
didn't.
Um,
I tried to pride myself in responding to most things, but I definitely did not respond in that text there before kickoff. So
After you have such a, I would say last season was a really successful season for you guys, especially how you ended it. 10-3, I believe. So you finished the year. When you try to replicate that, like going into next year, what's strong about Florida State where you think, hey, we can not only do that, have another 10-win season, but possibly do even better?
yeah, you want to see consistent growth, and that's been a big part of the things that we've done. From coming in day one to kind of establishing the foundation of who we were and what we were going to do, and kind of the steps that were necessary moving forward. And so it's fun seeing that you kind of take hold, and the way that our players, our coaches, really all areas of our program that have improved to allow us to have the season we had this last year. And there were still things that showed up throughout that journey that we have to get better at. And now it's the even being that much further along in the finer details, the consistency of our actions, the way that we respond through all situations, that hopefully we can eliminate the three and continue to get better.
In your last 6 years there, I think you've had close to 20 kids that have been drafted in the NFL. How important is that when you're talking to kids that are thinking about coming into your program? Do they want to know that you've put out players before, or do they want to know that you got a cool hangout room? Like, what's important?
No, I mean, I think it's all, and one of the things that we talk about is that all-inclusive experience. When you're a high school player or a college transfer that's looking to make their choice, what is it about Florida State that's going to help them achieve in all areas of their life, on the field, off the field, classroom, setting themselves up for who they want to be, and ultimately what they want to do. And all these guys want to play in the NFL. If they don't, I really don't want them here. We want guys that have that passion and desire, but it's also guys that who they are, building the man, building the experiences of who they get to do it with, what they get to represent. And we're at a special place. You saw the bowl game, you see the passion, the pageantry of being a Florida State Seminole, the great tradition, the great legacy, all the relationships. That's what makes this place very unique. And I love all different parts of it. But yes, being able to say, to look at a track record of, people that we've coached, whether it's myself or guys on our staff that, guys that have been able to go and live out that dream and, are achieving at a high level, not just getting to the NFL, but having success when they do arrive.
So when you were running the offense at Pitt, even co-offensive coordinator, and you're an offensive guy, I wonder how important it is for you to keep learning, or if you do, with the defense now. So offensive head coach, obviously great at running an offense, but how much do you really know about defense? Because you played offense, but now you've also got to bring in people that you trust. Do you constantly ask questions and want to learn about what they're thinking? Is it a crash defensive course you take, or the other way, let's say if you're a defensive coach? Like, how is it as a head coach when it's not your expertise that you have to trust to bring in someone to make it theirs? I just feel like that would be a really tough dynamic.
Well, I mean, for my background, I worked under a defensive minded head coach and a guy that was defensive coordinator in Todd Graham for 9 years, and I think that a lot of the things we do offensively, really came from, just conversations that we would have, and being able to kind of get a better understanding on both sides of the ball of, what gives defenses challenges, and, obviously things that you look to be able to take away or gain an advantage on both sides of the ball. So, I definitely have, I try to have a big picture approach to all things of what we want to look like, defensively, how we want to attack. There's certain things just fundamentally day to day that, obviously each coach is going to bring their own, unique perspective to, and how to make that, how to get that accomplished. And that's what I love about this profession and just the job that it has. But, I try to have a big picture approach to our entire program, and been able to hire some great coaches that are able to implement that.
I just want like a book like Defense for Dummies for me, like because you're obviously an expert and a great head coach, and I followed you at Memphis as well. And if it were me and I was so good at one thing, I would just keep doing what I was celebrated at, and I probably wouldn't even know there was a defensive part of the game. I'd probably just only do offense, not even know there was defense happening. And then I'm like, oh crap, now I'm the head coach. I need Defense for Dummies. But not. That's why he's the head coach, and that's why I'm over here doing this, I guess. Apparently,
I can tell you one of the fun things when you're an offensive coordinator, one of the best things when you have a good defense, it makes everything in life so much better. So good defense, great special teams. I mean, it's we take a lot of pride and try to be a well-rounded program.
Question about Tallahassee. So my friend Eddie, who is sitting over there, here's Eddie. Show yourself, please.
Yep. Hey, Coach.
So Eddie and I played a show at the football stadium in Tallahassee. We went and played, and thousands of people came and watched us play music, and it was a great time. Now, this is where the question for you matters, Coach, because we're the same age. After we finished our show, we're adult men, and at the time I was probably like 34, 35. They decided to go to the sorority and fraternity houses.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Coach, they're men in their 30s, and I felt like that was probably not the move, even after we played a show to thousands of people on campus. But they wanted the campus experience. How do you feel about that night, Coach?
Well, here's the deal, Coach. Real quick, it was Parents' Weekend, so I thought that would help a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Eddie, keep telling yourself that, brother.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Like, probably not the move, right, Coach? You just stay like where the adults are, right?
I can, in defense of Eddie, there's probably quite a few people that would enjoy that experience of that age group, but probably not the right play.
That's all I wanted to hear. That's all I wanted.
Right.
That's all I wanted, Coach. Coach, do you? And I only have like a few more minutes with you because I'm going to let you get on. But I was watching LeBron last night when he sets the record for all-time points scored, and it's super cool. And I stayed up, and that was an LA game, and I wake up early. But are you still in tune with I want to say the pop culture of sports, meaning the NBA? Did you watch the LeBron moment? Will you watch the Super Bowl? Will you watch any of the NBA playoffs? Or are you so hyper-focused on Florida State that it's hard to even do that?
Yeah, I did not watch it last night, but there are events that you as a sports fan, and I love watching great teams, great great players. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to watch that, but it's that's it's something to be celebrated. And you think back, I was trying to get in my mind. I think LeBron's a couple of years younger than I am, but it's I still remember as I was coming up, he was a story. He was an icon before he ever even got to the NBA, just for what he did in high school. But for somebody to have that much, I'd say, pressure or expectation to go and live out that dream and to have the level of success, I mean, it is something to be celebrated. And so I try to get in and stay into as many of the current day and age of all things that are happening in sports, but a lot of time does go into just what we're doing here.
You ever been to a Super Bowl?
I have.
Pretty boring, huh?
It's I tell you, it's the show of it is remarkable. I mean, all the things going on around it. I mean, from halftime to just they know how to make money.
Yeah, they do. And he's in Florida. That's what a lot of the games are. Florida, Arizona.
Yeah.
It's in Arizona this time, but I went to one in Miami, and yeah, it's a show, but I'm telling you, it's a lot of rich people who buy tickets, who can afford tickets to watch the game, so they're not like super passionate about the teams. But you're right, there's some money there. It is a show. It was like, I did the red carpet on E a couple nights ago. It felt like that, Coach, where you're like, who are these people and how'd they get this money?
Yeah, when I went, I was actually that was back when I was office coordinator at Arizona State, so it was in Phoenix, and it was pretty easy for me to get there. But people that travel, and it is a major event, and they, like I said, NFL knows what they're doing. They're gonna make their money.
All right, last question for you, Coach. I do want to talk about Jordan Travis. What's the expectation for him next year?
I mean, just to continue to grow, continue to get better. I mean, he's a phenomenal young man. I mean, just the way that he's helped lead our football team. You see all the success he's had on the field, and just the person that he is. He's never let it get to him in a way that he still stays focused on the work. And talking about he had opportunities even earlier this semester to go and you go to the national championship game, to be able to be around some of the national media, and kind of as you look at some of the things he's accomplished, just to continue to push who he is. But he declined the invitation because he wanted to be here at the first day of workouts with his team, and to me, that's who he is. And I'm gonna put no limits to what he can accomplish. I think he's one of the best players in all of college sports. But he's just a remarkable young man too, and he's somebody you want to cheer for. And the way that he works, the way he pours into this team, into this program. I mean, I'm honored for the opportunity to coach him.
Got a lot of friends that are massive Florida State fans. They're gonna love hearing this. I would have been so irritated to win all, because you guys won, I think, 6 in a row at the end. I just wouldn't have wanted the season to end. I just been like, why do we have to stop? Like, we're not losing. Why do we have to stop? And you guys were, we went to the bowl game, and just big things, Coach. I'm super cool to see you do so well down there, and I'm glad that you told Eddie he was a creep. And I think otherwise we're all good. We're all clear here.
Yeah,
there he is. Have a great offseason, Coach. Coach Mike Norvell, or as I call him, Coach Norvell. That's right. All right, Coach. Have a great day. Thank you for your time.
All right. Thanks so much, and go Noles.